When hope is gone, undo this lock and send me forth on a moonlit walk. Release restraint level 0. Hey kids, wanna see a dead body?
Hi guys, this is the Void of the Ravenclaw. Welcome back to another fanfiction story. If you like this type of content, smash the like button and subscribe for future videos and updates that I do post on my community tab frequently. If you want to get access to my content early, check out my Discord. This is part 0 of the Black Flames of Asgard. As we start our story off at a hospital, normally this would be the beginning of a life, but this time around is the end of one. As you can see, a young boy, about the age of 6, on life support, fighting for his life from an incurable disease that's been slowly killing him. His little small body is very thin. His little thin body is trying to fight for its life, but it's clearly evident the small child is losing the battle and losing the battle fast. When his small, weak, thin, and frail body finally gave up, the small boy could only see darkness when he finally died. In a completely different dimension, the Marvel Universe, in Asgard, the internal flame suddenly ignited. The normal color fire of the internal flame turned black, as a black beam of black fire shoot out of the internal flame, crashing and flying right through, out of the vault, flying across towards a part of Asgard that no one ventures into. The black fire was engulfing a large black egg that has a symbol of a black dragon onto it. As pieces of the egg could be seen through the black flames as she shoots through the sky of Asgard. When the black fire finally crashed, only a black egg could be seen. Everyone at the castle is quite in a panic. Even Odin himself doesn't exactly know what's going on. When he went to investigate the vault where the internal flame is being kept, he didn't see anything wrong. The internal flame is still the same color and height. Only thing different is the large hole onto the ceiling of the vault. The side of the hole is still glowing bright red from the extreme temperatures from the black flame. The black egg sits there in the badlands of Asgard, undisturbed. Suddenly, when the first crack appeared on the egg, Asgard had their very first eclipse. The more the egg cracked, the more the weather begins to become more violent and vicious, as a thunderstorm's rain upon erupts, as any dormant volcanoes start to erupt, not just in Asgard, but in all the nearby realms, is going through the same eclipse as Asgard. Then the egg shattered, revealing a 5-year-old boy with long purple hair. And the 5-year-old Asgard boy slowly opened his eyes to reveal his glowing purple eyes. The small boy is quite confused, being born for the first time, no one there to guide him. It would make anyone confused, as he's getting a burst of memories from his past life as a human in a different dimension. He sees images of a very frail and weak human dying. Just the thought of it angered him. As the small boy was engulfed in black fire all around him, as the black fire shoot up into the air, as a blast of fire shooting into the sky could be seen all across Asgard. As the entire Asgard could feel the slight piece of his untrained and unfocused power could be sensed all across Asgard. Powerful, but unrefined. As soon as the large beam of fire was seen, it disappeared along with the oppressive power that was released with it. The flames all around the small boy began to shrink and turn into clothing for the small boy. The small boy is wearing a black clothing with a black cloak. As the fire guard of Asgard opened his eyes once again, as several years has passed, it's only been 4 years since Odin took the throne, which his older brother passed away. It's only been 4 years since the mysterious black flame that shot out of the forbidden area of Asgard was seen. Odin purposely didn't send any of his warriors or soldiers into the badlands of Asgard. The normal soldiers would be massacred. The badlands is filled with strong and powerful creatures. Only the most skilled warriors can survive the harsh wildlife in the badlands. Ever since the black flames appeared, no warriors have dared to venture into the badlands, and the ones that do don't ever return. As you can see, a 9-year-old boy walking through the badlands of Asgard. Draco means dragon in Latin. By the way, just a little reference there. Draco casually gazed his surroundings. Draco might not look it, but he's fully aware of the predators that are trying to flank him on all sides. It didn't take long for the predators to reveal themselves to be all wolves. They have some sort of bone coating over their fur, making the bone into like armor, protecting all the vital areas of the predator's body. The first bone wolf launched at Draco with his jaws wide open, with his sharp teeth visible, ready to chomp down on his prey. Once the bone wolf got into reach of Draco, Draco slammed his palm on the top of the bone wolf's skull, slamming him into the rock ground, cracking the hard surface. of the ground as spiderweb cracks begin to form from the impact, while the bone wolf that just got smashed into the ground was still in his palm. He ignited it in black fire, completely vaporizing the bone wolf. When the rest of the bone wolves witnessed one of their own being brutally burned, like it did, they immediately began to attack. The bone wolf made a slight mistake. They group up together, and Draco will brutally and efficiently capitalize on their mistake. As all the wolves charge forward in a group, Draco extends his small palm outwards towards the charging wolves and release a blast of black fire, instantly eradicating the wolves. Draco lowered his arm to his side, as steam could be seen in the palm of his hand from unleashing his black fire. As Draco begins to walk, ignoring all the other predators that are slowly retreating from Draco, sensing he's on top of the food chain. Draco's life so far has been undisturbed. Occasionally a predator would come around and try to attack him, but he would swiftly take care of the creature. He's only got better on using his powers, until one day he gets sensed the same energy that's inside his body begin to form out in the badlands, as a magical portal opened up in the middle of the badlands, basically. Draco never seen magic before, but it feels oddly familiar to what he has inside his body. But he's been unable to access his magical powers. His black flames are not created by using magic. He already organically could create black fire. The black fire is a part of him, much like thunder and lightning is part of Thor. After all, Draco is a god of fire. But Draco managed to get behind some large boulders. Draco slightly peeked his head around the boulder to see the creatures that walking out of the strange looking portal. He's never seen creatures like this before. They look quite similar to him, but taller, and their limbs are a lot more thin, as they have two pointed ears, and their skin was a dark blue color. As one of the dark elves came out of the portal. Shortly when the first dark elf appeared, more appeared. As the portal disappeared, as the group of dark elves began to travel through the badlands. With their mission set, they begin their mission to assault Asgard from the shadows. As a war between Asgard and the Dark Elves has erupted from their last attempt as a peace meeting they had with Odin. Draco's never seen creatures like this, so he quietly observed them as the group of Dark Elves traveled through the Badlands. Draco's uncertain if these creatures are dangerous or not. Draco's has learned appearances could be deceiving. They might look harmless to him, but that doesn't make them any less dangerous. So he made sure to keep his distance while observing them. With his superior eyesight, he could easily keep track of them in a good distance away as he watched the Dark Elves begin to make camp. It didn't even need to use his senses to spy on the Dark Elves. The moment they made a fire, that was his opening. He could observe these creatures up close by using the fire to be his eyes and ears. As Draco extended his hand forward towards the elf camp in the distance, as he connects to the flame in the camp, they begin to listen in on the elves' discussion. What Draco heard was quite interesting. And Draco muttered to himself, so they're here to kill Odin and his youngest spawn, his daughter, I believe. Draco knows exactly who Odin is. When he was created by the internal flame, he already have knowledge of Asgard. And he's been using all the flames all across Asgard to spy on the people of Asgard, to know what exactly been going on in the realm. But he doesn't really know anything about the daughter of Odin. He never really paid her any interest whatsoever. Now Draco is at a crossroads. He could have probably killed these creatures using the element of surprise. But on the other hand, he has no reason to interfere with these strange creatures in their mission to kill Odin. Draco finally decides he won't interfere yet. He'll let things play out. Physically wise, Draco looks like a 9-year-old boy. But his mind is not. He processes information with a lot more mature mindset. And he clearly doesn't have the strength of a 9-year-old. Despite his small stature, he's still a god. Once the Dark Elves assassins broke camp, Draco followed them out of the badlands towards the capital of the seat of power of Asgard. The Dark Elves easily passed through the main gates into the city itself, using illusion magic to pass through the checkpoints, fooling the warriors that are standing guard. They eventually led Draco into the castle itself, as the Dark Elves stealthily hid themselves into the shadow in the throne room, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Draco easily spotted Odin on his throne. Right next to him is his wife and his firstborn, Hela, that looks to be around 9 years old. Once the Dark Elves saw an opening, the elf took out his bow and loaded an arrow, aiming directly at the daughter of Odin, drawing the string backwards. As he released the arrow, directly aimed to fly towards Hela's head. Before anyone could react, Draco appeared in a burst of black flames and caught the arrow by catching it with his 2 fingers, stopping the arrowhead mere inches away from Hela's skull. The Dark Elf assassin charged forward, shooting out of the darkness, and began to target their main target, Odin. But before the Dark Elves could get any closer, the charging elf was completely evaporated with black fire that shot out of Draco's hand, vaporizing one of the Dark Elves' assassins in mere seconds. Odin gestured his guards to stand down. The 9-year-old Hela looked at her father. Father? Yes, my child. Who is that? I'm not sure, my daughter, but I'd plan to find out. That shocked Freya, and Hela, not a lot of things could escape Odin's future sight. Draco, without mercy or regards to life, killed majority of the Dark Elves, leaving only one alive, as he grabbed the severe burned Dark Elf by grabbing on to his face. What sort of creature are you? Once Draco made physical contact with the Dark Elf, he began to scan and rip out memories and knowledge out of the creature's skull. When he got all he needed, in mere seconds. With his knowledge of magic that he's been lacking, that he got from the Dark Elf, he knows what he needs to do. As he threw the Dark Elf away, hitting the wall on the other side of the throne room, as spider webs, cracks begin to form behind him from hitting the wall. As the Dark Elf struggled to get to his feet, "What the hell are you? You're no normal Asgardian." "Very well, Dark Elf. I'll tell you who exactly I am. I am Draco, the son of the eternal flame, god of fire. And I am the black flames of Asgard. Rejoice, Cretan. You and your kind will know me very well and very intimately, very soon." Without any hesitation, Draco created a singular black fire spear and shot it forward with a singular motion of his hand. As the fire spear shot forward, the moment the fire spear made contact with the Dark Elf, the complete upper body of the Dark Elf was completely vaporized, only leaving the bottom part to fall to the ground, cauterized from the high temperature heat of the fire. As Draco could sense the slight hint of fear from Odin and Freya, while the daughter of Odin had eyes of amazement and curiosity and a bit of excitement, Draco turned around to begin to walk away until he heard a voice. "Wait. What do you need, Odin, the High Father of Asgard? Who exactly are you? You already know who I am. I will be returning home to the Badlands. Worry not. I'll be paying these Dark Elves a little visit, now that I know what their intentions are. I cannot allow them to continue to exist. Don't interfere, old man, or you will regret it." "Is that a threat?" "A threat? No, a warning. I normally don't care what happens in Asgard. I don't care if you want to continue to play king. That doesn't matter to me. But something about these Dark Elves rub me the wrong way. So I will eradicate them for you. They dare try to use my domain to stage an assassination that will clearly bring chaos and disorder into Asgard itself. That's something I cannot allow. But you have my gratitude, old man, because of this little detour. A lot of answers has been answered. With a singular thought, a singular black fire portal opened up. As Draco begins to walk towards the portal, Draco turned his head towards Odin. "I hope you're as wise as your subjects describe you as, because if because if you're not, it would be a shame. I would have to destroy you. With that said, Draco calmly walked through the portal, closing the fire portal behind him immediately. Draco decided to look through all the new memories he got from that dark elf. It's going to take him time to fully process all the new information. Draco is sifting through all the new information in the middle of the Badlands, with his eyes closed, looking through all the different memories he got from that dark elf. But the magical knowledge he got from that dark elf is a lot more useful than the other information. He knows what he has to do. And so happened, now he has knowledge of accessing, finally tapping into his magical powers that's sealed inside him. He just needs to bring it to his surface. He's going to wait until he gets all the information he needs before he tries to do something foolish to attack up the Dark Elves just yet. He still's not ready. The first thing Draco learned from his new knowledge, he decided to start to understand and speak the native language of the Dark Elves. That didn't take him very long. When he finally started to learn and understand their culture, that led him to magic. The Dark Elf knowledge he got from that Pacific Dark Elf was quite versed in the art of magicraft, well, basically magic. Found it odd that the elf didn't try to perform any magic in the third one, but yet again, Draco doesn't really care. Draco begins to chant in the Dark Elf language. As a black magic circle appeared, as a black fireball shot out of the magic circle into the distance of the Badlands, as a black explosion could be seen when it made contact. That was quite odd. I'm surprised I was able to perform magic on my first try. And I'm more confused. Why did that fireball spell was different according to the memories of the Dark Elf that I siphoned? That fireball should have been a normal color red, but it was black. Maybe it's because of my high affinity for fire, and for being a fire god, could be affecting the color of my flames that I create with magic. That singular spell was quite powerful for a normal fire spell. I guess the power difference depends on the caster. After practicing the same fire spell a few times, after a few tries, he figured out how to lessen the power of his fire spell. When he cast the same spell again, it was much less devastating than the ones he casted prior. But the thought did occur to him. Would he be able to perform magic in his dragon form? Draco eventually decided to test it out. As he shifted into his dragon form, he was immediately engulfed in black fire. As the black fire started to form into a solid object, eventually forming into a dragon. Fire dissipated. Draco's dragon form can be seen. This is basically what he looks like, but smaller. Just for reference, Draco opened his purple eyes that are now slitted like dragon eyes. Draco noticed his size in his dragon form hasn't increased in size much since the last time he was in his dragon form. Draco released his wings out, preparing to take flight. Draco is fully aware as he grows, so does his dragon form. He's still a young god, much like a newborn, so he's not very big when it comes to his dragon form. About the size of a full-grown adult. Draco's dragon wings were fully extended outwards. He leaped upwards and took flight, and begins to fly around the badlands, just stretching out his wings. Draco is feeling the wind rushing through his face and his dragon snout. Draco eventually dove downwards and swiftly landed on the ground, making a slight earthquake around the badlands. Draco performed to speak in the dark elf language as multiple magic circles appeared as black fireballs began to shoot out in rapid succession, land in all different directions of the badlands, making multiple smaller explosions once the fireball made contact with the ground. Draco's dragon form was engulfed in black fire. The black fire begins to shrink into a human form as the black fire dissipated, revealing Draco in his original state. So it's still possible to use magic in my dragon form. That's good to know. At least that works with the fireball. Draco decided to perform different types of spells as he begins to speak in the dark elf tongue, trying to perform another spell. But this time around, the magic circle did appear, but it started to spark. Then eventually, the magic circle collapsed on itself, shattering into light particles. I wasn't expecting that. The spell itself didn't look too difficult to cast. I saw the elf in his memories do the specific spell several times, but for some reason I can't perform it. It could be possible it would be a lot harder to use other spells that doesn't involve fire. I most likely have a high affinity for fire, for being a fire god and the son of the eternal flame. That's not even including the dragon blood I have in me, allowing me to transform into a dragon. Without that wouldn't be possible outside of using magic, of course. What I learned from this elf, from his memories and knowledge, there's a lot of things I didn't know I could do with magic. I've only reached the surface of the potential that magic has. But I'm not ready to challenge the Dark Elves. I need to learn and practice more. I have no idea what I'm able to do and what I can't. I might be a god, but I'm no fool. Everything has a weakness. As Draco practiced lightning spell, he learned from the information he got from the Dark Elf. He practiced for a few hours, analyzing the memories he got from the Dark Elf on how the lightning spell is performed. It only took him 2 hours to be able to form the spell correctly. He's nowhere near mastering this lightning spell. But surprising, the lightning wasn't a normal color. It was pitch black, much like the fire spell he used, as the flames were black as well. He was interrupted by a portal opening up slightly behind him. Draco turned around to see Freya stepped out of her magic portal, holding on to some sort of basket. Hello, small one. You were that woman in the throne room. Yes, indeed. I am the Queen of Asgard. Freya. Draco slightly narrowed his eyes. Why are you here? Did that old man boot you up to it? No, dear. Odin doesn't know I'm here. Draco tilted his head to the side, in confusion. I'm here to thank you. Thank me for what? For saving my daughter, of course. That arrow would have killed her. She's still discovering her abilities. She's in a vulnerable state right now, physically. I brought you some sweets I baked. And thanks for your good deed. Draco cautiously took the basket with a cautious eye as he opened up to see all sorts of cookies, brownies, and other sweets that she baked personally. Freya sat down next to Draco. He said at the palace, is it true? After biting down on one of the cookies and swallowing the delicious treat, yes. I was born from the eternal flame. I don't know why, but it happened. Even if other people want to deny it. I see no point in lying. It's a waste of time. I see you've been practicing magic. In those incantations you were chanting, was it in the dark elf? It was clearly the dark elf tongue. I might have been watching you for a few hours. I got curious. That it was. Tell these are new acquired abilities you got. The spells. Indeed, you remember that dark elf I grabbed by the face? Yes, dear, I remember. I basically siphoned all of his information that the dark elf had. Knowledge, memories, and a good portion of different spells. By your expression, you didn't know you could do that. I did not. I just felt a feeling that I could. You're still preparing to go and fight those dark elves, aren't you, boy? Yes. When I say I'm going to do something, I do it. Freya gave Draco a warm smile. Very well. I'll be your magic teacher. Teacher? I know a simple basket fills a treat is not enough to thank you for saving my daughter. I'll teach you how to use magic runes. Teach you how to use magic properly. And what I've seen so far, you have quite the skill for it. All you need is a good teacher to hone your skills. And I could be that teacher for you. What do you say, Draco? Draco thought about it. It would speed up his progress in magic. He didn't see anything wrong with it. The woman that goes by Freya gives off a warm feeling that you get from a mother. So he didn't feel any ill attention towards himself from Freya. So he finally made up his mind. Thank you. I would very much like to learn Freya. Shall we start? My new student? That's where we're going to stop it. I'll catch you guys in the next video.